a little bit of a system that works in Warzone that a lot of people don't seem to be doing, and it has to do with the King Quest. So, the King Quest, most people, when they take it, they're just trying to revive their teammates, right? And it has a 2.5 minute cooldown or something. I think that the way people have been playing the game has been wrong, mainly because if you consider this game like other battle royales, the biggest thing is having more people on the board, and you want as many as possible, and you want more than your enemy. So starting the game off strong, even if you want to play defensive, offensive, it doesn't really matter. You're going to have to get into gunfights at some point. Um, this method is kind of twofold. Either one, you stick together with your group as a 4-man, or you go a 3-man with one solo. Now, the reason this is because it allows your team to make up for their aggressive playstyles at the first. A lot of people, they drop Superstore or Prison or wherever they want to go, Boneyard. And odds are you're going to lose at least one teammate when they go in there, especially if they're going in 3v4. And what I've found is even when your team is doing very bad and they die over and over again, as long as you can keep bringing them back and keep putting them on the board, you can make it to those final circles and sometimes even pull out the win, get to the top 3, top 2. Um, so all this really is your team, either 3 of them go somewhere and you go by yourself, or you all stick together. If you go by yourself, you want to get a gun, some decent stuff, grab a vehicle, grab a King Quest right off the bat as soon as the game starts. The reason why is that it's going to give you an edge over anyone else who gets the King after the fact. Usually after the first couple minutes, which it takes for the King's... Every time I use it, it's about a minute into the King Quest, your team will get wiped. That means you only have 1 minute after the King Quest hits to get all your teammates back. Now, the reason why this is good and why I think the King Quest is particularly good is because it brings back every ally that you have that was dead, plus gives all of you money. So you're saving 4,000 per person, so it'd at least be 12,000, plus getting money. So I mean, everyone can get however much, 3 or 4K. And then depending on your play styles, this is how it works. This is also the most versatile. If you get a bounty quest or something, you have to hunt that target down. If you die, then you just probably don't have the manpower to kill that guy. Um, Scavengers, you have to go through buildings and you have to get to those boxes. They have good loot in them, but you have to get to those boxes. The recons are really nice, but they give away your position. The King quests give you the most control over your game when you play. So let's say you get into a fight and you stay it as a team. 3 of your teammates get downed and they're out. You're still alive. You have the King quest. They can respawn, come back down, and fight those guys again. So you have a second life. Also, people get drawn to the King. So they're going to try and find and kill the King to get money because they want money. But they're not going to be getting a bunch of money for killing the King if they do. On top of that, early on, the King's going to have a gulag. No one's going to have really good guns at the first of the game. And this even works later on into the game as well. So the whole purpose is to give your team the most lives possible in the game. And I have 2 loadouts mainly that I'm running with this, okay? So one loadout, I'm using the riot shield and a pistol. Mainly because the pistol lets me run fast, the riot shield lets me block a lot of bullets. So this is where I am doing the solo runs by myself. If I'm staying purely by myself, I'm the pilot, I'm the quest getter, I revive my teammates, and I'm generating money. And this is basically double time because we want to be able to move 30% faster while crouched with the riot shield. Also the faster sprints with our pistol. We got tune-up for revives in case I have a self-revive, or if I need to revive my teammates, I can do it 25% faster. And Point Man is going to give bonus money for every quest I complete to all my teammates. And the reason why this is really strong is because it's giving everybody money, which is going to be really good, but also because the King quest brings back everyone that's dead. So you're going to bring back your whole team or whoever's dead, plus give all your people money. And it's usually a lot of money. Just one king quest with 4 or 3 people coming back, you usually have enough money to buy a loadout again to get them back into the game, or you're going to have a ton of money you're setting on that you can revive them again if they die by just going to a buy station. There's been a number of games where we've died multiple times and we've had over 50k on our person every time we've died. Just because of this point man thing, and only one person needs this on the team. So the second thing that we're doing, I have heartbeat sensor and stuff too, but you can bring smokes or whatever you want. Um, that's just more of intel gathering kind of thing. Now the second thing I'm running here is it's suppressive fire. This is my newly updated M13 build. This is what I'm using mainly when I'm going into firefights with my team. This weapon here has the most all-around versatility. I do like the FAL still. The FAL is very good. I would take the FAL if you want long to medium range fights. The FAL can decimate. So it's basically a sniper with a very fast rate of fire. It takes a few hits. You can actually weaken people very fast. The M13 is all around more versatile than the FAL because it's full auto. It's good at medium-ish ranges, and it's good close distance because it still has a very high fire rate. It can compete with SMG's close range. So this is why I particularly like the M13. On top of this, the recoil isn't that bad. And you'll notice that we are running this with a compensator. And the reason why is because first off, the underbarrel is optional, but this underbarrel does give you more utility in your games, and this is all what this kit is for. If you have 4 of these, you're able to control battles because people run ghosts, things like that. They don't have tools to win on battles. So this is the other kit that I run. I have proximity mines with shrapnel, so I can put 2 proximity mines down. I can get 2 smokes on demand. Um, the bottom of this rifle, I think, is optional, but I'm using concussive grenades on here. This is mainly because, one, I can use the concussive grenades to slow enemies, so my allies can flank them faster and easier. It's easier to breach rooms and get in with that as well. Also, if you're in a pinch, you can use this to slow enemy movement. And then you can reposition while they are trying to get out of the concussive grenade. So it can buy you time to reposition, to reload. Say you're getting pinched, you can concussive grenade one side and then fight the other, and then you can worry about the other side once they get past the concussive grenade. And a lot of people don't use battle hardened, so this helps quite a bit. And what this does is it gives you the most versatility possible. Um, and you say, like, why don't you have frag grenades and stuff? You can run frag grenades in here. This is optional for your team. If you like a very aggressive play style, frag grenades are fine, and so is C4. So you can take either one. It doesn't really matter. I'm using the RPG-7. This is basically my replacement for my grenades. I have 1 to 2 shots here, 1 to 2 shots on my underbarrel. This right here is replacing my frag grenades pretty much. I use it to down people and stuff. You don't have to cook it. You can't bounce it off walls. So frag grenades have a lot more utility with the explosion, but I don't really get that much benefit from frags in general. Like, they kind of work sometimes, but usually they don't hit their mark. Whereas the RPG has the possibility of hitting its mark pretty good. You can use it to destroy choppers and stuff in the air pretty easily, finish off people around corners. Um, just that kind of stuff. So what this kit does is it gives you all around versatility. If you're running as a 4-man, that means when you spawn and you get this loadout, you're at least going to have 1 concussive grenade apiece, which can single-handedly win you a whole fight. They're going to have 1 RPG-7 at least apiece, which is going to be able to weaken enemies at range, finish people off at range. Very good all around. You're going to have 8 possible landmines that you can use to cover your flanks, cover entrances and doors. You don't have to worry so much about people getting behind you because you're going to have alarm systems behind you. And then you'll have 8 smoke grenades, which we're running the thermal hybrid optic on this weapon, mainly because you can see through smoke. A lot of people do not use thermal optics. They don't like them for some reason, and they like maximizing recoil control on their weapons. Now, the thing is with this is that The recoil control on most weapons, it really isn't terrible. You can control them pretty easily. But you can see on mine right now, I'm using the compensator because it has 27% recoil reduction, which most of the foregrips that you can get will give you 17% vertical recoil reduction. And then they use the monolithic suppressor mainly for increased range and bullet velocity. But you can run a compensator in a foregrip and get 40 or 50% recoil reduction, but it really isn't necessary. You can see that people are using monolithic suppressors in a foregrip, and they're making laser beam weapons with that. Then the foregrip and the compensator is overkill pretty much at this point. But this compensator by itself is going to give you more recoil reduction than the foregrip will. You're going to be visible on the map, but you have the tools to take on any challenge in front or behind you. You have options. You can't do this with Ghost. Ghost is very good for staying off the radar, catching people off guard, going around. But if you get marked with a bounty quest, if you have a most wanted, if your teammates don't have Ghost, then you're really at a disadvantage when you have Ghost compared to people who have this much utility in their toolset. One person can take on a full squad by themselves without even armor with this kind of loadout. I've taken out plenty of squads just with smoke grenades and a thermal because they think it's safe to go through smoke. 90% of the people who don't run thermal optics, like they just instantly get cut out of a fight with this. You can push buildings. You can retreat with the smokes. You can block people's visions and house breaches and things with the smokes. It's pretty versatile. You can use it all over the place. It's pretty nice. We got 60 round mags. You can go for the silent one if you want, and you can swap out this underbarrel for anything you want as well. Now you might be thinking, uh, without the monolithic suppressor and stuff, this weapon will be terrible, but it's actually not. We still have the long barrel on there, which is giving us a bunch of recoil reduction in the first place and bullet velocity. And then usually, I think the barrel itself gives you more bullet velocity than the monolithic suppressor, but we're also getting more recoil reduction than we would have in a foregrip. And you can still use the foregrip if you don't like underbarrel launchers, but this just gives you options. If you use the foregrip, you can use the monolithic suppressor if you really want to. It's just that having the extra grenade and stuff is going to give you more tools to use versus your enemy. Now, what I basically compared this off of is I was doing tests on the Kilo, the Holger, all that stuff. Why aren't they very good? Because the Holger could basically have all the same stats, if not better than the Kilo, but it wasn't working as well in combat. And what I ended up finding basically was that the Holger's attachments basically can increase the ADS time and the movement speed, stuff like that. Whereas the Kilo and all those, they can get increased bullet velocity, um, even if their stats might not be as good. So the Kilo can get like 1300 bullet velocity, even without the monolithic suppressor, it's at like 1100. And the only other one that's like the Odin can get 1500, right? But I was comparing these, and I started looking at sniper rifles, and like the HDR and stuff, which is a very effective sniper rifle at distance. It has about 1,000 bullet velocity, right? So in my head, why do I really need over 1,000 bullet velocity on my ARs? 1,500 and 1,300 is just it's it's an absurd number to really justify when a sniper rifle that can one tap at distance without much issue uses 1,000. So I'm able to still get about 1,000 or 1,100 or something on this M13 right now, plus 27% recoil reduction on the front, so I don't even have to worry about the foregrip. I have it beat out just with the front end. Plus I have a grenade launcher barrel. Plus the ADS time really doesn't feel that bad. It's pretty smooth still on this weapon. So you get recoil, you still got good range, you got really high fire rate, you got explosive rounds, you got thermal optics, um, you have landmines, smokes, RPGs, your restock, so you keep getting more equipments. We got quick fix right now, just so we can heal a little bit better. But you can see as a four-man, if you ran something like this, there's no way people are going to be able to take you on close range without some form of difficulty. Because the smokes can cut their vision, the landmines can mess them up. They might not see the landmines in the smokes as well. The concussive grenades can slow them down. The explosions will wear them out before they even get to you. So if you have the King Quest with this kind of loadout as a four-man, you can actually hold an area if you want to. If you are more of a campy kind of team, you have 8 landmines at your disposal that you can hold down a fortified area. You have smoke grenades that can buy time and give you like a lot of versatility. You have concussive grenades which can slow people down for flank maneuvers and stuff inside of buildings, things like that. And the RPGs as well, just to help weed out some people, hit them from a distance, take out some vehicles, anything you kind of need there. Deal with people in towers, like firehouse towers, all that good stuff. And then if you like the aggressive play style, you can still use proximity mines to help you in aggressive play style. You can place them around an enemy building that you're breaching or inside of it in case they try to jump out of a window and rotate underneath you. They're going to end up hitting a landmine. And then even if they know how to dodge a landmine, they're going to go prone. You're going to hear the landmine go off. So they're going to have to get up off the floor. So you know that they're either going to be down low or they're going to be really hurt just from the landmine itself. But you add all these kind of things together, and basically you have the ability to fight a whole squad with one person. And this is probably the biggest thing about this kit right here is just there's so many times that people run Ghost, your whole team is dead, you're by yourself, and you run into a 3 or 4 man squad. Your options are simply you're either going to get outgunned by a bunch of people or you have to outplay the hell out of them jumping through windows and stuff, or you're going to have to pop one at distance, rotate and move really fast, hopefully not run into another team, and keep wearing them out and taking them out from a distance. With something like this, you can easily take 1 or 2 people out with landmines. You can take 1 or 2 out with smoke grenades. Um, you have the RPGs to wear them at a distance as well. The gun itself has a heavy fire rate and you can shoot super far. You have a thermal optic, you can beat people. I don't know why people don't use thermal optics, because when you look at people using heartbeat sensors, they like heartbeat sensors because it shows them that people are there. But people have ghosts, the heartbeat sensor doesn't work. If people have, they talk about having cold-hearted, yeah, they're not going to show up on the thermal, but they have to have the cold-hearted perk. Um, and even if they do, you can still see them perfectly fine with a thermal optic. Especially the one I'm using, which is this thermal hybrid. You can see people perfectly fine, even if they have cold-blooded. It's just like having a regular sight at that point. So I don't see why this sight isn't used more often. And the stats are still pretty decent here, so it's not too bad. But if you want to give this a try, just go and try it in your game. I tell you, you will have so much more money. You will have so much more revives. Your teams are going to keep going. And the more of these King Quests that you do in your matches, the more that you're going to take away from enemy teams. This is the other important part. Not only are you saving money, you're bringing back your team so they can do more. You're giving your team more money because you're saving the money on buying them back, plus getting the money at the quest end. But you're going to be able to keep those quests off the map. So enemy teams that you kill are not going to be able to grab a king and run off and revive their whole team because you have a monopoly on those king cards. So I think personally the best quest in the game to use. Yeah, it gives you the most control over your game. And if you're not afraid of a little fight, or if you're a really good driver, things like that, it works very well. So try it out in your games. Let me know what you think. Personally, it's one of my favorites, especially mixing it with the pinwheel. I have to find that guy's video and I could try to link it, but yeah, just let me know.